Good morning, dear students. I hope each one of you is doing good. Today, we are going to study how to write an informal letter. We'll be discussing the format of informal letter in today's session. In this lesson, you will learn to do the following. Define letters and state their uses. Know the types of letters, particularly informal letter, or we can also call it a personal letter. Know the format of an informal letter and also to understand the steps for writing informal letters. Before we proceed further, we must know what letter writing is. Letter writing is an important channel of communication between two people who are geographically distant from one another. In the earlier times, when the telephone and email were not available, the only means of communication between people was through letters. Letter writing is a skill that has to be developed. In general, there are two types of letters. Formal, that are written to convey official business information, and informal, which are personal letters to communicate with friends and family. A letter is usually one in a series of exchanges between two people. We have to follow a specific format while writing a letter. There are different formats for both formal and informal. Letters are an important means of communicating with people at a distance. A letter often bears the personality of the writer and helps maintain good relations between people. Nowadays, of course, you simply text nonchalantly to each other. But trust me, letters have their own charm and effect. A letter also serves as a record of information. Letters can be used for a variety of purposes. They can be used to keep in touch with people, to make inquiries, to apply for jobs, to make complaints, and also to convey news and to carry out business transactions. So, yes, we can say that they are an important means of communicating with people at a distance. Now let's look at the definition of formal letter and informal letter. A formal letter is a letter written to a business, a college, or any professional that are not considered friends or family. And an informal letter is a letter you would write to a friend or family. And we always share our feelings in an informal letter, right? Next, let's talk about the language used in formal and informal letters. If I talk about the formal language, it's often associated with written standard English conventions. It is signaled by complex, complete sentences, impersonality, avoidance of colloquial or slang vocabulary. Whereas informal language is characterized by a simpler grammatical structure, that is, loosely connected sentences and phrases, personal evaluation, and a colloquial or slang vocabulary. Now let's talk about the difference between formal and informal letters. If we look at the formal letter, these letters are written to inform an authority of something important or people in position. Formal letters depend on the question and is always respectful, whereas informal letters are written to catch up with a friend or family and to ask them how they are doing, inviting them to events, and is more lively. So letters can be broadly classified as personal and official letters. Let us take a look at personal letters. Personal letters are also known as informal letters. A personal letter is addressed to family or friends and is written in an informal, friendly style. And it can be divided into 5 sections. And those 5 sections we are going to discuss right now. So let's begin with address of sender. I have a tip for you. Entire letter should be following the left-hand side indent. So draw a margin close to the margin of the page while writing to ensure you follow the left hand. This consists of sender's address on the top left-hand side corner of the letter. No need of commas or full stops in address. And date should be written in such a way, 31st July 2020. This is the correct way of writing date. So this is how we begin an informal letter, by writing sender's address followed by date. Then comes salutation or greeting used in informal style. The salutation, my dear or dear, can be placed before the name of a relative, while dear is placed before the name of a friend. A comma is placed after salutation. So you may or may not put comma after salutation. It's optional. Then comes body. Now the most important part of any letter. So it consists of 3 main parts: the opening paragraph, the main paragraph, and the concluding paragraph. Let's talk about the opening paragraph. Opening sentences such as, "It is lovely to hear from you," "I'm writing to you after a long time," etc. can be used in an opening paragraph. The main message must consist of brief sentences written in a conversational manner, and you can include this main message in the main paragraph. And then comes the concluding paragraph. The closing lines express some regards or hopes that the writer has. We can use a line such as, "Please give my regards to," "I look forward to hear from your side," etc. in the concluding paragraph. So this is the body, which consists of 3 main parts. I repeat, the opening paragraph, the main paragraph, and the concluding paragraph. It means you need to write letter in 3 paragraphs. So there should be no confusion in your mind. Whenever you are given task of writing a letter, make sure you write in 3 paragraphs. Then comes subscription or closing. The subscription of the letter varies depending upon the relationship of the writer and the person receiving that letter. Yours affectionately, lovingly, love for friends or cousins, brother, sister. Yours obediently for parents or relatives older than you. Yours does not take apostrophe. The subscription also appears on the left side of the letter. So, this is how we end our letter, right? So, this is again very important. So, once you write the 3 paragraphs, it's followed by subscription. Then the name, only first name of the writer appears right below the subscription. The letter may also contain the following abbreviations like PS, which means postscript. It's used when the person wants to add more information to the letter after they have already signed off. Now, I have few tips for you, which you all need to keep in mind while writing a letter. Write your address on the left-hand side of the page. That's very important. Tip 2. Leave one space and write the date underneath your address. Tip 3. Leave one space and write the introduction. Example, dear. Write an introduction, main body, and conclusion. Yes, this is about the 3 paragraphs that we write. To end the letter, either write with love from, love to all. If you wish to send love to somebody's friends or family, or all my love, you can use these expressions. Now, here is an example of an informal letter. Let me read this for you. Dear Katrina, thanks so much for your letter, which arrived yesterday. I'm very happy to hear that you are coming to England this summer. You say that your English course in Cambridge lasts a month, but you will be on holiday, so I hope you will be able to come and see us. We have a spare room, so there is no problem about putting you up, and you're welcome to stay for as long as you like. We are not going away this summer, so there is no problem about arranging dates. Please write soon and tell me if you can come. My best wishes to your parents and your brother and sister. My parents send their kindest regards. Love, Jane. So, this is an example of an informal letter. So, now let's move on to the next part, which is useful phrases. You all can use these phrases in informal letter. Thank you for your letter. It was nice to hear from you. I'm sorry, I haven't written for so long because you're writing to someone after a long time, hoping to hear from you before too long. I'm afraid to say that I won't be able to. Do you think you could? I regret to inform you that we are unable to. I'm writing to ask whether it is possible. So these are some of the useful phrases which you can use while writing an informal letter. So this was all for today. I hope you all understood the format of an informal letter and how to write a good informal letter. So keep learning, keep revising. Thank you.